So one of the things that I use when I do centerpieces is a plastic plate, and you can find these pretty much anywhere. And most people are familiar with a balloon cup and a stick. Instead of the traditional way of putting the balloon on like this, I usually glue this part onto here, and then I glue the stick right into there. And then you're ready to begin. I happen to have one already glued, ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is take one of my quads, and just in case if you don't know how to make a quad, I'm going to quickly show you. For this one I used 3 pumps of air, and for this quad I'm going to use 2 pumps. So 1, 2. Let out some air, tie it off, don't fly away. 1, 2, let out some air, tie it. Now I'm going to make a duplet, which is 2 balloons like this. Now we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, let out some air. And one more. Now you tie these 2 5-inch rounds together. And you're going to take these 2 and these 2, twist them together, and now you have the quad. And I just realized one of them didn't come out the right size. Maybe I let out too much air. So the first one I'm going to use is my yellow quad. Sorry, my blue one. And this one I actually put 3 pumps of air in. So you're just going to put it right on what I'm going to call the pole or a stick, and you want to twist it over. This way it's going to lock it on, and make sure you press it. Now the next one you're going to take, it's going to be your yellow quad, and this one's going to have 2 pumps in it. And again, you're going to bring it on your pole, flip it over, push it down. So right now, it looks like that. The next thing you're going to do is take 2 1/60s, tie them together, and put it right in one of your 5-inch rounds. So it should be like that. Now you want to take it and twist it. Once you have twisted it, you want to go kind of with your swirl, and it'll just go into place. Now I want to have maybe up to about here. Lock that in place. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the blues. And tie the 2 nozzles together. And again, twist them over. And then you want to follow your empty space with your blue all the way. Twist it and lock it around with yellow. Now you're going to take your final blue, and you want to put this blue in between these 2 rows. So you might need to stretch it around a bit. Lock it in place, and you're good to go. Now, we don't need all these things, so we're going to break them up. Tie it off. And just to be secure, I usually tie them together as well. Twice, because twice is nice. Now I'm going to tie the yellows together just to make sure they're not going to come apart. Now I'm going to take the blue and the yellow, and I'm going to just press it on top, pull the yellow up through, bring that back up, and now I have it looking like this. Sorry, hair. And now we're just going to place it right on top. And remember those extra pieces that were sticking out from tying off the 160s, you wrap it around. Figure 8. Now we need another one. That's it for that part. Next we need our foil balloon, which I've chosen a little bit different pattern than this one that's already made. This client wants to have a variety of designs for her faces. When it's nice and firm in the center, you know you've put enough air. This one feels pretty good. Now you want to take a scrap piece of a 160 and you place it on the end and just roll up the tip of the foil balloon and tie your 160 scrap, and sometimes that happens. That's okay. We have another piece right here. Okay, like I said, we're going to tie this on. Do it twice for extra security. And this part is very simple. You're just going to take those two pieces of balloon, wrap it around. Do the same thing with the other piece. And there you have it. Now, there's one more small one that I'm going to show you guys today. And it's really quick. We're going to use this one. And we're just going to make 8 5-inch balloons. So we're going to do 1, 2, let a little air out. 1, 2, let a little air out. So you're going to take your duplets, make it a quad, and stay together for me. And now with the yellow 5-inch rounds, I'm just going to do one. and 2 more to go. Alrighty, so now we're going to take this quad and again do the same thing that you did for the top of this one. You're just going to place it on top, push up the blue one, hook it in with the yellow, bring it back up. And it's just like this. Now right now I'm not going to use a sand weight, but normally I would fill up a 5-inch round with some sand and I would hook it in right here at the bottom. And that just makes it more sturdy and it's not going anywhere. Now you can take your little 9-inch round and same way like you put the topper on the centerpiece, we'll put it on this one. So for this centerpiece, I have found one of these containers at a dollar store, and it's just a really heavy cardboard, and I glued a cup. I've used a hot glue gun and I glued it directly to the center of this box. It's going to work as a base. And I'm going to be using a 16-inch stick, and to cover up the stick, which this part is optional, I've taken a lilac 260 and I've just stretched it right over the stick, and I'm going to tie off the end. Now you can put your stick inside the cup on your base. However, if you don't glue it, it can easily come out. I've added a little bit of hot glue. And this is just going to make sure that my stick is not going to come out. You should let the glue dry before you start adding your balloons. Now I'm going to start making the balloons, and I'm using lilac 5-inch round balloons. And I gave it 2 pumps of air using a single action Qualatex balloon pump. So I have my first balloon. Now I want to make 3 more just like this. So now I have all 4 of my balloons, and I'm going to tie 2 together, which creates a duplet. And I have another duplet. You bring them together, twist them over, you now have a quad. After you make your first quad like this, you want to make another one the exact same size. And you also want to make another one, this time using 1 pump of air. So to attach your quad, you just want to take it and twist it around your pole. And you're going to do the same thing with your next one. You're going to open it up, twist it over your pole. And the balloons should be sitting on the top, in between the bottom 2. Now for the top section, you want to go as close to the edge of this top of the stick as possible. Twist it over. And you're going to do the same thing with the bottom. Place it around the stick, twist it over. You might want to push it up. Now for the topper, I'm going to use an 18-inch heart foil balloon. And I'm going to inflate it with air, and I'm again going to use my single action pump. That should do. Now be careful with your foil balloons. You do not want to overinflate them because you will end up with a leak. I've had I don't know how many foil balloons leak on me with the learning process. I'm going to use a scrap 260. There is a little circle at the bottom of your foil balloon, and I'm pretty much putting it at the bottom of the circle and rolling up. I should say rolling down. And then tie off the end twice. And now with these ends, you can attach your balloon to your centerpiece. And you want to just wrap around your balloon. Same thing with the other side. I noticed when I finished it that this part wasn't very stable, the top quad. So I ended up tying a 260 right underneath the quads onto the stick, and just to give you an idea, let's pretend that I'm tying it. Once I tied it, I just kept wrapping it in and around all the quads. The same technique that you would use to touch the top part. Okay, so for this balloon decoration tutorial, I have purchased a little tin, I guess like a pot. I purchased this at Dollar Tree. And I also bought, this came in a 2-pack. It's just a circle piece of foam. And I'm also going to use a balloon stick, but I'm not going to be using the balloon cup for this one, just the balloon stick. And I'm also going to use a hot glue gun with some hot glue sticks. So the first thing that you want to do is find the center in your foam. And you want to kind of maybe eyeball it. Okay, so once you have done that, you now want to glue the sides of the foam. Then once you have your sides glued, place it into your tin pot. Press it down. Now you remember you made a hole in the center of your foam. Now you can place your balloon stick in there, and you want to glue that balloon stick right to your foam. That's just going to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Now the next part, I'm going to take some shredded paper, and you can buy this at the dollar store. And this is just to cover up where that foam was. Okay, to start off our balloons, I have blown up one 5-inch round balloon. I have blown it up with one pump of air, and I will do one more so that you can see. Now I'm just going to tie them together, and I have my first duplet. Now you need to make 5 more duplets. So now I have all 6 of my duplets. I'm going to twist it over, and just like that. You're going to take the next one, and right in here would be your center. So you want to wrap that duplet around the center. Again, it's tricky, but you will get it. Find your center and take your next duplet and squeeze it in. And take another duplet. And one final we're going to take our topiary and just stick it right on the stick. And this is what we have so far. Now we could leave it like this, but I find it's a little simple. So I'm going to take a pink 160. Sorry, and I've given it 2 pumps of air. And I gave it a little burp. I let some air out so I make it nice and soft. So the first thing you want to do is make a little bubble. And then you want to take the nozzle, bring it back, and pinch twist. By the way, this part is optional. You don't have to do this. Now, I'm talking about the little bow that I'm making. Now you want to just flip it over. We would call this a loop or flower petal. And twist it. So, this is what you have so far. Now, I would say go down about 4 fingers. I have small fingers. And then make a little bubble. And another little bubble the same size. And then you want to come back up. And you want to make this bubble the same size as that 3/4 finger bubble. And then you want to bring this part into your first pinch twist. Wrap it around. And now we want to make one more petal like this. Make sure your balloon is soft. And you want to make sure that they are about the same size. Now we have a cute bow that we could place right here. Now for this demonstration, I'm not going to make one in the front and the back, but you could. Also too, if you want to take your bow, kind of, as you're going to twist it, and you do twist it a bit, but then you let it go. And you kind of get that shape as opposed to this. So you want to pull it, and kind of roll it. Like you're about to twist it, but then you bring it back. So, to attach it, like I said, normally you would make 2 of these, so you would put one on the front, one on the back, and then you can just attach it with a scrap 260. But I'm just kind of taking the air out. If you can see, there's not too much. I've released some of that air there. I don't need the rest of this. So I will take it off. For this quad, I have pumped 3 pumps of air if I'm using my single action pump, or if you're using an electric inflator, this would be approximately 4 inches. And the next quad that I have made is with 2 pumps of air, or approximately 3 inches if you're using an electric inflator. I'm also going to use a balloon weight. So let's get started. First you want to take the quad with 3 pumps of air. That one will be at the bottom, and the quad with 2 pumps will be at the top. And pull one of your big balloons from the bottom quad up and twist it around. So now it should be like this. The next step with the balloon weight is optional. However, I do like to use these because it gives your centerpiece a little bit of weight. So I'm just going to take it, place it right in the center, and with that string, the nozzle I should say, just wrap it around your balloons. I'm going to take a scrap 260. You can also use a scrap 160. I'm going to place it on the top and simply roll down. Tie it twice. And you attach this to your bottom simply by pulling these 260s, scraps, wrap it around your top balloons. Again, you have the other side, so you want to do the same thing. For the next part of this centerpiece, I'm going to use a pink 160, and I've pumped 4 pumps of air, and I'm giving it a good burp. And now I'm going to attach my 160 to the center of the quad, right in the middle of the quad. And wrap my balloon around one of my top balloons. And I'm going to bring it right around to the middle of the quads on the other side. Adjust it a bit. And there you have an easy Minnie Mouse balloon centerpiece. Okay, so you want to make 12 squares out of tissue paper, and this one is actually not tissue paper, but I'm going to use it like it is tissue paper. And you just want to kind of crumple it up so you've got this kind of a shape. Stick some hot glue there. And now you want to make 11 more of these so that you have 12 in total. Now for the next part, you're going to put some glue along the edge of your balloon cup, and you want to glue it to the center of your tin pot. Which I forgot to mention, I purchased this little tin pot at the Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to put some glue on the top of the cup so that I can secure the balloon stick. And now you want to start gluing your pieces of tissue paper or foil. And I'm going to glue it right there. So it's not touching the balloon cup. The next row will cover the balloon cup. So you want to continue going around the outer edge. So now it should be looking like this. And I'm going to add some glue around the balloon cup. And now you should have something looking like this. So for my quads, I used a single action pump. And for the one quad, I have pumped 2 pumps of air, and for the other one, 1 pump of air. So I'm going to take a scrap 160, and I'm going to place it close to the top of the stick, and I'm going to tie it twice. So I'm going to take the smallest quad. I'm going to place it closest to strap 160, twist it over. Now you want to take your bigger quad and place it on the top, twist it over. Now with those scrap pieces of 160, you can just wrap it around your balloons. And same thing with the other side. For this next part, I'm going to be using an 18-inch foil, and this one is It's a Boy. And I'm going to use a scrap 160, place it at the end of the foil, and roll down. Tie it twice, and now with these 160s, you can attach it to your centerpiece. So, you want to grab that one side of the 160 and just wrap it around your balloons. You want to take the other side and do the same thing. Okay, so so let's get started on this balloon centerpiece decoration tutorial. The first thing that I'm going to do is use a plastic plate, and this plate is 10 inches, and you can often find these at dollar stores, including Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to use a balloon stick and a balloon cup. And I'm also going to use some hot glue, and I'm just going to place it on the balloon cup just around the edges. And this plastic plate is pretty good because it does have a little circle in the center, and I can pretty much eye where my center is going to be. And then you can just press it down. And it's stuck. You do want to give it a few minutes though before you start arranging your centerpiece. Now with the stick, you don't have to glue it in, but I find if you don't glue it in, it's easy to pop back out. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue just to the end. And now let it dry, and then you can begin your centerpiece. For the next part, I'm going to take a 5-inch Qualatex round balloon, and I'm using a single action pump, and I'm going to pump 3 pumps of air. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm not going to tie it just yet. Instead, I'm going to twirl it, and I'm going to grab another 5-inch round balloon, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now you can take the both of them, wrap them around, tie it. Now you've created a duplet. Now you want to make another one of these. And now you can simply touch one on top of the other and twist over. Now you will make another one of these with the same color and with 3 pumps of air again. So now you have 2 quads. And you want to make 2 more, this time with 5-inch rounds that are white, and you're going to put 2 pumps of air. So now you want to take your purple quad with 3 pumps of air, and you want to attach it to the bottom of your base simply by opening up your balloons like so and twist over. And then you're going to take your white quad and you're going to do the same thing. Now for this balloon stick, I didn't cover it with a 260. However, you can cover it with a 260. And if you check out my video for a tall centerpiece, you can see how to cover it with a 260. But for this demonstration, I'm not going to be covering it. Now for the next part, I'm going to go down just a little bit from the top, and I'm going to tie a 260, or you can use a 160. And I'm just going to tie it to the stick. You don't want to be down too far, because this is going to help support the quad that you're going to put on top. The 2 quads you're going to put on top. So now you're going to take your white quad, and the same thing that you did down below, you're going to put it on the stick, twist it over, and it looks a little funny right now, but it will come to place. And again, you're going to do the same thing with your purple quad. I like to hang on to the top of the stick just to make sure that it's not going to poke at the balloons and make it pop. Sometimes this part gives me a hard time, but you get it. Now with the 360. You can simply wrap it right around your quads. Both pieces. Just make figure eights. And that just helps keep the top part on. Now for the next part, I'm going to be using a 11-inch clear round balloon. I'm also going to be using a 5-inch round balloon. And I'm going to be using a balloon stick. You can also use any other object that's like this. This is just going to help be able to push this balloon inside the clear balloon. So once you have it inside the clear balloon, you can hang on to your balloons but release your stick. And you want the purple one to hang out a little bit. So you want to put the purple to the side. You don't want it to go inside. I'm hoping you guys can see this. If not, I'll have to do another video with this up close. So now I'm just going to insert the balloon pump into the clear balloon, but not into the purple. I'm going to hold the purple to the side and just get some air into the clear. You don't need to put too much. Just enough that now you could start pumping up your purple balloon, which is tricky. So now you want to insert your pump into the purple balloon. You will lose some air from your clear balloon, but that's okay because you can add some more after. So that's one pump, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want, you could add some more air into the clear balloon, but I think this is probably good for me. And I'm just going to tie both together. And now you have a double stuffed balloon. And we did it without a machine. So now all that's left to do is to attach your double stuffed balloon to the top. And you can use your nozzle and wrap it right around your quads. Okay, so let's get started on this balloon centerpiece decoration. The first thing I'm going to do is take a 5-inch round balloon, and I'm going to inflate it with a single action pump, and I'm going to give it 3 pumps. I'm not going to tie it off, I'm just going to twist it, and I'm going to make one more, just like that. Again with the 3 pumps. Now I'm going to tie 2 of them together so that I don't have to tie twice. I only need to tie 1 time. Now you need to make 1 more duplet just like this. So now you have your 2 duplets and you want to take them together and twist over. And now you have your first quad. This next part is optional, but I really like to use it for all of my centerpieces if they're not on a stand. And it's just a sand weight, or I also call it a salt weight. And to attach it, you're just going to take the nozzle of the balloon weight and wrap it around your quad. Now for the next part, I have blown up again 5-inch round balloons, and this time I've pumped 2 pumps of air, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the green balloons. I'm going to put it on top, pass it over, and I have another quad. Now I'm going to take this quad, lay it on top of the first quad, bring one of those green balloons up, pull down the pink balloon, and pull the pink back up. And now we add the next quad, which is going to be, again, the 5-inch round balloons blown up with 2 pumps of air. And I'm also going to use 5-inch round balloons that are purple with white polka dots. And it's just like this. You can also use curling ribbon instead of pulling your balloons up through like you did here. And all I'm going to do is just attach it to the center and tie it twice. Now you take this quad and you place it on top and pull your curling ribbon nice and tight and wrap it around. And your final quad, which again is 5-inch round balloons, and I have pumped 2 pumps of air in these. And you just want to place it on top, get your ribbon in there, and pull it nice and tight. For the top one, I sometimes wrap it around a couple of times. Cut your ribbon and wrap it into your quads. And this is what you should have so far. Now for the next part, I'm going to attach a foil balloon. And in this case, I'm using a baby shower one. And I've just attached a scrap piece of 260 to the end of the balloon. You can also use a 160 instead of a 260. So you're just going to take these ends, wrap it into your centerpiece. Just tie around your balloons. Now your centerpiece can be complete just like this, or you can add a little more extra oomph by attaching a 160, and I've blown it up almost all the way. And I'm just going to wrap the nozzle around a couple of my balloons. And I'm going to get some 2-sided tape. I actually picked this up at Dollar Tree. I'm going to place it right on the top of the foil balloon. I'm going to peel off the top layer. So now it's sticky on both sides. And you want to take your 160 and nice and snug wrap it around your foil balloon. Make sure you get it to stick to your double-sided sticky tape. Now you take the other end of your 160 and you want to take that nozzle and wrap it into your balloons.